This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast.
I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said now. I'm getting awesome, you're getting awesome, we're getting awesome, yeah, that's what I said.
Nightmares, I don't care, I love it.
It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media by God Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, here to talk tech things with you. I'm here for a day. And the day that I'm here is the day that we do podcasts. And I'm so happy to be doing podcasts with you in the studio after our remote on-location Zoomy Zoom meeting of a show we had a week ago. But from Ann Arbor, Michigan. But with me, first of all, we have with us in we need fancy graphics. There we go. Hey, we have things rearranged today because certain hardware is not here. Well, it's over there, but it is not here ready for the show as we're preparing for other projects here in the studio. But with me from Studio D in the Big Dormont, PA, he is Studio C in the big. Damn it, I messed it up again. What am I doing? He is the big. He's a fancy guy at the big bank.
I'm the big guy.
He's the big guy at the bank doing tech things. That's what's important. There you go. Chichilla's with us. John Chichilla's with us. Hello, sir. Good to see you back on again.
Like, I envision that you just fly in on your Learjet.
If only.
Roll out with the Pelican cases full of equipment, plop down in the studio, and be like, next flight 11 p.m.
Did you see my Twitter? Did you see the loadout for Saturday night's wrestling show? That we
did not. I saw a bunch of the the still, you had posted some stills, and then the little girl that was about to jump off the.
Oh yeah, the girl that looked like she was gonna swanton off of a booth last night. No, I wasn't working those wrestling shows. I was attending, but no, we have the pack out for this wrestling show this weekend because I'm not here. I'm in Vegas doing Formula, and I'm gonna melt in 117-degree weather. It sounds like. But no, Chachi's gonna be back to switching, and he's never set up our setup before. But he doesn't need the stream. We're actually teaming up. Rizz is teaming up with. I don't know if anybody's aware of Jim Sterling, a YouTube star actually, and he's been involved in some wrestling. Does actually gaming YouTube. So I look them up. Commander Sterling, Jim Sterling, I know is the moniker previously. I think the Twitter is still that. So look out for that. So they're doing that. So we're setting up okay, what can Chachi just do? So he's just making sure he's producing the show and then send them a feed so they can do their streaming things. And I'm not there to make things, disconnect that are not connecting. So we're doing a lot of pre-stuff, and I'm really kind of rethinking how we're doing productions around here. But that's enough about that geekery. Let's get into a different kind of geekery with our boy Rizz of Rizz Plays Games. There he is, guys. Hi, Rizz.
Hi, while you're looking up Jim Sterling's Twitch account, you can hop on over to Rizz Plays Games where I play video games sometimes as well.
There you go. You do that, and it was the perfect week to have you on. First of all, Dutters is, I understand, should be, if not shortly, discharged and back from. She's got her surgery. I think this is the last big surgery dealing with her breast cancer over the last year and a half. So I believe she's got her boobies back. So good vibes going out to Katie. It seems like she's been in really good spirits, and I've been catching up with Aaron about how things have been going with her. Because of course he's been in there, and I don't want to want to bug her too much. I've been sending pictures of rainbows that we've been finding on the trip and stuff. But no, good. So Rizz is the replacement Dutters, which is appropriate. But also it's a good week to have you on because E3 is happening and Xbox is all over the news. I don't want to touch on it here, but we'll get in that. Shout outs. My mother is in the chat room. wouldn't be complete without that happening. She actually visited me. I mean, she drove all the way into Pittsburgh so my dog could see me. Not so I could see my dog. So my dog could see me for a day before I disappear for another 2 weeks. So that was fun. The dog had a spa day. So if you notice that he looked a little lighter of fur in the pictures today. I was like, oh, you're supposed to cut a dog's hair. They're not supposed to just grow out and look like that. I thought that I've never groomed a dog that I've owned. I didn't know that was a thing you're supposed to do, apparently. But now my dog is a fancy dog. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to have to deal with that. And then what's up, Dave Ponder, also in the chat room. And also, I think looking forward to that Rise show coming up here this weekend. But this is the Awesome Cast. You can check out everything at awesomecast.com. AwesomeCast at sorgatronmedia.com for comments and advertising opportunities. Tweet us at AwesomeCast, the Facebook page for the AwesomeCast, the Facebook group for the AwesomeCast. We're live here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Although programming note, I'm going on vacation next week, guys. I've decided I'm going away for a couple days, and I'm not going to try to broadcast from Lake Tahoe. I'm cashing in all those hotel points and rent-a-car points, and I'm going to Lake Tahoe for 3 days. Okay? That's it. I'm on the other side of the country anyways. I'm going to visit the in-laws, go to Lake Tahoe, 2 separate things. And then I just need to breathe on some stuff because it's been a wild whirlwind in the last couple months with things going on. But that means no live show next week. I'm going to have something for you. There's going to be something that comes on at 7 p.m. Eastern time on our Facebook, okay? But in the meantime, I just want to give you guys that heads up about what's going on there. Please subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app. Watch the video versions all over Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We're live on YouTube and Twitch as well. The AwesomeCast YouTube page, Sorgatron Media, Twitch. So please follow those up. And as long as we're not doing something weird like a Zoom call kind of show like we did last week, we were live on all those platforms because I know we were only on Facebook last week. And also thank you to our audio partners that are sharing the awesome all across the Rust Belt, our friends at postindustrial.com. Thank you to our friends at patreon.com/awesomecast, our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John Diggy DeGore, John Carmen, Cynthia Klosky of it skips me in my head right now. Cynthia Klosky doing important things, and Scott McTaggart of the Shift Collaborative, that's the one, and Scott McTaggart of the Pitchworks podcast. Okay, gonna drink another one of these double shots. Got it? And we're going. At our fan of the show level, Michael Fedor, pghmuseums.org, our friend at the Professor Buzzkill podcast, and Dave Ponder of the iPhoneography podcast. You guys can support the show too. Help keep our lights on, keep that internet bill going over at patreon.com/awesomecast. I'm collapsing. This is when I get out in the heat.
You need to do this a lot more.
Do what a lot more?
Just start chugging that double shot.
I just need I can't
every Tuesday night. Just stone
cold. Is this the thing?
Bring it back.
Stone cold beer chug the double shot. So it's like quadruple shot. Dude, I'm gonna have a heart attack at this rate. I already lived on this thing for the last week. So, anyways. So thank you everybody for supporting us there. Let's get into our awesome thing of the week. So I'm going so fast, everybody's gonna have to put me on half speed in order for this thing to make sense. Rizz?
Yes.
Actually, no. Let's start with Chilla. Let's give Chilla. Let's just give. Oh, Chilla! Oh, you got one after my own heart over here for your awesome thing.
So my awesome thing is Niantic is working with Hasbro on a Pokemon Go style Transformers game.
Hello.
I picked the TechCrunch link because I was looking at a bunch of articles and I was trying to find something that, had a little more. This at least has a couple like picture clips. But more importantly, the first bullet in there is it's going to be called Transformers Heavy Metal, and there's a pre-registration page. So make sure you go sign up. It does ask you for your email. It asks you for your birthday and your country. It's going to be pre-released in certain regions or select markets. I could not find which select markets were coming first. But typically, it's not the U.S., but hopefully we'll be kept in the loop. It is going to be an AR-style game. You're going to be a part of the Guardian Network, which is a group of humans who have banded together with the Autobots in a war against the Decepticons. And it's built on the same light ship platform that games like Pokemon Go, Harry Potter, Wizards Unite, and the still in development Catan World Explorers is built on. Hopefully, this. I was hoping that a Star Wars game would have been around the corner next, but I'm totally cool with Transformers. I hope it does well. I know other games have struggled in this realm against Pokemon and Harry Potter, but hopefully, based on the fact that this is backed by Niantic, it will drive people to the platform and it will keep it alive.
I am interested. So I think we're kind of at the point where we're sort of taking that technology from our Pokemon Go and just applying licenses to it, right? So they're like, and not to say it's cookie cutter, because I don't think, I felt like the Wizarding World Harry Potter one seemed like it had a lot more going on with it, and that's why I couldn't get into it. But it's exactly the thing. I mean, they're just throwing brands at this thing, and I think it'll be beneficial, and it's going to find all their different audiences. So I feel like
when we've seen this tried with there was a Ghostbusters one. It wasn't built on.
No, we had the
same platform.
We had a lot of the
wasn't-
Me Too copy cutters, yeah, copycats, yeah, cookie cutter copycats. That's what I'm looking for. That show title. So, anyways,
and they're saying it's going that pre-release or that early launch is the select markets is going to be like soon, and then it's going to go global by year's end. So even if it's not going to be long before this is in everyone's hands. So super exciting.
Awesome. Looking forward to that. Because I haven't been able. I'm back to the traveling, but I've definitely not gone back into the Pokemon Go. I just don't have the energy for it.
It's so much fun.
I know, especially all the places I've been in the last month. I want to start it like this week when I have like only like 3 more places to go, and it's like one of them's back to Michigan.
I remember the one trip we went on. I believe we had our Pokemon Go out while we were driving, like the passenger side, by the way, side.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that while you're driving. And we just had it out just to get those miles in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. And I don't know.
Egg hatched and
I don't know how much it applied, but like I always was war driving some Pokemon Go while I was driving Lyft. Like it was dude, driving Lyft like really upped my game for Pokemon Go. So that was really good for me.
This game is going to be like I'm excited for this one too.
No, yeah, I'm excited to jump into something like this because I think I've Pokemoned out my Pokemon Go, and I need something else to kind of sink my teeth into. I mean, it's just like I could sit here and do all the raids with how it's populated in my neighborhood right now. Like we got a Pokestop right next door and all this stuff, but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, so no, looking for trying out the Transformers version for sure. Can I tell you how gaming hardware saved my life last week? I'm getting some stuff together. We're setting up, I've talked about before, we set up for the Auto Drive Challenge on the great M City at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. And one of the things we did was we were working to, we had some other hardware we were working with, and we're basically bringing camera feeds over the facility's network, right? And we found ourselves, as I'm setting this thing up and getting ready to go for a live feed, and I'm looking at things and realizing, usually when you see me on this show, if you see my video, typically it's going through one of these things if you're on visual with us. This is a Blackmagic Intensity Shuttle. This is the Thunderbolt version. It's pretty much deprecated in our, we don't really have any reason for this with the new MacBooks and everything. But it used to be I'd have one of these for each camera back in the day. But also, I mentioned the ATEM production studio. Follow my Twitter. That's how we do the multicams. It goes into the device like this to this computer under this desk I'm sitting right now. So I'm setting up, and we're getting to it, and for whatever reason, the boxes that we're using bumps everything up to 1080p. I was like, okay, no problem. So I look, and I'm like, nothing's working. Then I look these things up, These things top out at 1080i. This is a problem with a lot of our hardware that isn't brand new. By the way, a lot of things are topping up at 1080i. It's interlaced instead of progressive. Most of the stuff that you watch on television should be on a 1080p, I believe, these days. And I won't get into interlace versus progressive right here. So basically, I was just a short step away from the thing not working, and this like professional hardware that I've been using for years and years was not worthy of what we were trying to produce this week at the Auto Drive Challenge. So I'm like, oh God, I'm stuck. This thing needs to stream this afternoon. You're not picking these up at the store, okay? This is something you have to order off of Amazon if they're in stock. It's a professional equipment. So I'm like, okay, what can I get at a Best Buy? Okay, it's always the question when I'm short something. What can I get to patch this at a Best Buy? It's the closest thing to a Radio Shack I have for my needs. So finally I'm looking, and I'm like, man, if I had my Elgato, I've misplaced my Elgato somewhere over the last year. And I am like, if I had that, I could plug this in and everything would just work. So I started looking things up, and I found, and I couldn't get a new Elgato because they're the USB-C, and we're still using this computer. It doesn't have USB-C, but I think I'm buying a card soon. So I came across the Cam Link 4K. Now, I've been using these $12 versions of basically the same thing. If you're on visual, this is basically just a USB dongle, and it will take a 4K, up to 4K HDMI feed. So the idea is you're going to take your professional camera, maybe you got a DSLR still cam that does video that you want to plug in and make your Twitch feed to look a little better. That's the intention for this. That's basically intention for this. You see there's a nice camera. Well, actually, that looks like a GoPro on the back of the box there, right? So if you got a nice camera that's better than a webcam, you're like, well, I just want my video to get plugged in here and it'll work and all that stuff. This is it. It turns it into webcam. In fact, this video of me that you see right now is coming to you through this device. So it works, and it worked for the entire week. It was something like $115, I think we paid for it. I think it's a few bucks off. It might be like about $130 or so retail, but yeah, picked it up at Best Buy. Set up the in-store pickup. Sent my lovely wife, who saved my skin a few times this week by, hey, go get this. We need this. You know, like as we get on site and realize certain things don't work, which is always happening. I mean, this is you know, it's one of those like you think you prepare for everything, you start connecting things and realize, oh no, this doesn't work the way that we tested it or at home versus, you know, tested it last time, and those kinds of things, or this device doesn't work. You know, it is just a lot of variables, and this was a nice thing to throw at it, and it's working. In fact, since I'm not using the Blackmagic ATEM to bring all the camera feeds in, I'm coming in over the Elgato Cam Link, and then our friends here, like Rizz, everybody on the Zoom call is coming in over, still coming in over the Blackmagic Intensity. So we're double slinging our input devices here in the studio for this evening in our you know, not completely set back up situation. So, but everything's working flawlessly, and I mean, let us know if anything looks different this week. I'm hoping the intention is nothing looks different than if we had the much more expensive hardware under the desk. Like, okay, is the $2,000 piece of hardware taken out of the equation? What can we do? But I mean, that also shows how far we've come with a lot of these things. So this is recommend if you just need to kind of plug that camera in, right, to your device, like alongside your whatever you're doing for gaming or something like that. I don't know, Rizz, if it's something that's been on your radar before this.
Honestly, like, I really want to get into upgrading stuff like that. I don't know how much my stuff can take.
Right.
So I'm kind of like trying not to push it too much, trying not to like do too much of that. But yeah, like I'm looking at the stream. It's coming up pretty good. Like
good.
But I am like, the way you talk about it makes me want to try it out for myself.
So the biggest thing, and I don't know, so if you've ever joined us as a guest on our Zoom calls, I have like a $12 video dongle that's basically the same thing. and that's how we shoot our video back out. Like we duplicate what's going through the switcher that's not here right now, and that's what spits back out so Zoom calls can see what's happening, right? It's like see what the shots look like. They don't have that tonight with this current setup. So basically it's a $12 so that's a $12 version of this, and we did have to use it for one of our streams until we got this, and I'm like, I know I can't trust this thing all week, right? It's a $12 video thing. There's no way I can rely on this for very important shots on a very important project. When I was using the $12 version, Rizz, so you're talking about how much your computer can take, the CPU was near maxed out on this production computer using that dongle, that $12 dongle. Then you throw the $120 dongle at it, and the reason this is so expensive is because the processing is being done on this device. So so for you that you have your computer, your phrase only takes so much. This is what you need. This could potentially check your specs, but this could potentially help you get a little more life. When the Elgatos are really good about, like, there's a reason they're $150 or whatever, because the processing is happening on there. It's taking the load off of your CPU versus it's actually doing the conversion for you, like that it needs to do, versus like the cheaper model is just like, yep, I converted it. Here you go. Have fun, CPU. Like that's basically it. So.
Don't throw your dongle around, Sorg.
Oh, my dongle's working right now. This is just the box.
Oh, that's the box. Okay.
So, I was trying not to be violent with that.
And
so.
I don't know if you'd even be able to find one anymore. I found one for $30 on eBay. But Elgato used to sell the Turbo.264 HD, which, Sorg, you're talking about taking the workload off your device, right? So they used to sell this device that was literally just an H.264 like encoder on a USB like stick that you could direct like any video encode decode to, and it would take all the heavy lift off of your CPU and shove it over to this specialized. That's all it did, right? All it did was encode and decode. And I would use it constantly to compress MPEG video from large format. I mean, it worked extremely well. What I don't know is, did they keep the drivers up for it?
Yeah.
But even if you're looking at cheap solutions to kind of offload that work, just like that device has it embedded.
That's what all these devices do, basically, right? Like everything from the high-end Blackmagic box that I have here, the Ultra Studios that we have a couple of around here in different formats. Thank you, Thunderbolt and New Mac. The biggest thing for me, I know this happens with the Blackmagic, and I believe this also happened if I wanted to get my HD60 Elgato, that's the old USB, and not the USB-C that you featured on the show several weeks ago. I do not believe that will work driver-wise with the latest Mac OS. These things get deprecated pretty bad when we go through Mac OS versions. So your shelf life on the Mac side could be problematic. So that is something to watch out for. I don't think these work anymore, like at all. Even if I got the Thunderbolt adapter for these are Thunderbolt 2s. So I had to go get USB-C stuff in order to keep using stuff. So I mean, it's kind of a it's an unfortunate thing. Your shelf life's not going to be so good with the adapters into Macs, but when they do, I mean, when you get them, they're going to work. So although I have issues with how problematic Blackmagic devices are, but again, once they work, they are solid, right? So, but that's that. So yeah, I'm seeing the Elgato 264 HD, and again, I think that's just an earlier version of what you're getting with this Cam Link 4K. Like it's basically, I think, the same thing from the looks of things.
Just be careful. As a Mac owner, do not try to pick up their newer top of the line 4K 60s Plus. It's a 4K HDR capture, which will also capture to an SD card. For some weird reason, unless it's changed in the last couple months, there is no Mac driver for it.
If you're doing anything video with Mac, be very, very research the device. for sure. And I haven't tried this thing on the Mac, by the way, but it does have a Mac logo on the back. So I'm hoping that means it says Mac OS Sierra 10.12. And maybe this is important for you there, Rizz. 4th generation quad-core Intel i5 CPU or comparable, and GPU it's recommending. Yeah, this computer has an Intel graphics card, by the way, and it's doing NVIDIA GTX 960 or better, AMD RX 470 or better. So I don't know. So take that for what it's worth. Those specs, I can't tell you I can't keep up with the graphics cards because I don't know the progression of graphics cards. Listen, back when we had GeForce 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where I draw. Then we started going off of that. I'm done. Give me my Voodoo. Give me my my Voodoo 2 any day. Anyways, I found my Voodoo 3 card lately, by the way. 3FX for life, baby. Who is next? That is Rizz, and you have a very gaming. A very gaming centric thing, which is also someplace where I could keep my double shots under this desk. Tell me about it.
So I could have talked about anything from Microsoft, really, like how all their games are coming to Game Pass, how, or how like all the Final Fantasy games are coming on Steam and mobile.
Oh, or
I can talk about Yakuza Like a Dragon, Back for Blood, Starfield, Contraband, Stalker 2, Somerville, Halo Infinite, Hades, A Plague Tale, Requiem, Slime Rancher 2, Party Animals, Psychonauts 2, Shredders, Atomic Heart, replaced Grounded, the DLC for that.
Oh, yes.
The Ascent, Age of Empires, The Outer Worlds 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Forza Horizon 5, Among Us 15-player, coming to 15-player Among Us, Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance, 12 Minutes, Scorn, Sable, Hello Neighbor 2, The Gunk, or Redfall. I could have just said all of that stuff for my awesome thing of the week for Xbox.
Yeah, you could have. It's amazing you didn't.
That almost made me pass out. But I'm going to talk about.
Hold on a second. You need one of these. There you go.
I need one of those. And I need a lot more than that. But one of the things they did announce was a fridge. A mini fridge that looks like the Xbox Series S. And the reason they did this was because it was between them and Skittles. And the finals of the tweet of the year, or tweet of whatever it was called, the tweet bracket or whatever. And it was either you get, if Microsoft wins, you get the Xbox cooler or Xbox fridge. I'm not going to call it a cooler. What am I talking about? Or for Skittles, come on, they're going to bring back the lime flavored Skittle.
Oh, whatever.
So I'm just saying, you have a giant thing that looks like a fridge versus bringing back one of those tiny little Skittles that kind of taste like lime. So obviously they're going to bring out they're going to kick out the Skittles in the finals. For some reason, the Skittles made it to the finals. So yeah, I'm very interested in seeing what this, like, if it's actual sized of the Xbox. I believe it is. And also how many dollars is it going to cost? Because I want to get it. Like, I might get this before I get an upgrade in buying a video game console.
I am curious, and if it's not stupid expensive, I would love to get one either for here in the studio, from when we're doing gaming nights, or perhaps for the gaming room, my Twitch room back at the house. Would be pretty fantastic for something like this. Is it even making the noise or something? Like, it lights up, the little X.
It lights up.
Box thing.
Yeah, the little button lights up. The way they announced it was with the video that's on. I put my Verge article in there. It's like it opens And I'm thinking, oh, is it going to be a smaller one? Is it going to be a smaller Xbox?
Mhm.
And then I saw the cans in there. I'm like, they're making a fridge, and it brought me joy knowing that like Microsoft finally knows how to make fun of itself,
Mhm.
and how to like just go about saying, yeah, it's the gaming thing is big, and so yeah, we're gonna make a fridge out of it now. So
I love it.
there.
I love
But
it. I love it. I
It's
love
a
it.
it's a mini fridge though.
it's
Like
a,
I have a mini fridge in my basement,
mhm.
and it fits a
Yeah,
lot
that
of
could
drinks.
fit that. Yeah.
This fits like you're lucky if it looks like maybe it's going to fit 10 cans
Yeah.
and no bottles.
Oh no, not at all.
Unless that middle shelf comes out.
I can see that happening.
We are judging your sizing. Yeah, this is gonna be like a weird premium sized mini fridge. So
And of
Or maybe
course,
you could fit. It's interesting too because if you look in the door, it looks like there's like a area where you could put something, but it doesn't even look deep enough for a can or a bottle. So I don't know.
Mhm.
that's where the candy goes.
That's where the candy goes. Where you put your Snickers.
Yeah. This is
That's where they're going to give you your lime Skittles.
just to taunt you.
Limited edition lime Skittles with every purchase.
Absolutely.
You
Oh,
get
man.
4.
And that's the
That's what
real.
that's what that
that's the
glow
real
is.
brand crossover.
It's
Yeah,
not-
that's a glow. It's the,
that's the glow right there.
it turns out the flavor was radioactive. Anyways, you know what's actually safe to eat? It's shout out to our friends at Slice on Broadway, New York City style. Yins are made. Beachview, Carnegie, the East End, and North Hills. It's good to visit my friends at Slice on Broadway this afternoon. So you haven't seen them for 2 weeks because I've been in other states. So and I won't see them for another 2 weeks because I'll be who knows where. But no, go check them out. Support our friends here locally. If you're listening from outside of Pittsburgh, please, if you're not at Slice on Broadway, support your local pizza place, whatever that is.
They deliver.
They do deliver.
They delivered as far back as where I am in Monroeville.
Yeah. What, they delivered to Monroeville?
Yeah.
Wow. From what? The East End, I suppose, right?
Yep, from the East End location, they deliver to
Wow.
my location here.
Good.
So
Make it so.
you have no excuse.
Well,
if you're in
apparently
Pittsburgh.
not. Apparently not. Go check them out. Our good friend, sliceonbroadway.com. I want to talk Xbox. Because, Xbox
Fridge.
is most of the news. No, you talked about the fridge, yes. But
Fridge.
I'm really interested in a lot of this, and this is where I'm Team Xbox all the way. I'm on the betas for the streaming things going on, and it's really continued to grow, and they really had the coming out party where they're like, this is what the future is going to be. And the biggest thing is that cloud thing. You mentioned, most of the games, a lot of things come in the Game Pass, which is then going to be xCloud as well. I believe they said that the streaming on the iOS and the browser-based xCloud is going to be open to the public by the end of the month. That's really freaking cool. And then, of course, this is something that was alluded to, I believe, months ago. But Engadget reporting here for this case, Microsoft is officially making Xbox video game streaming sticks, and they're going to bake the Xbox experience into smart TVs as well. This is coming full circle here. They're getting ahead of it. I was just playing with this announcement. I was actually playing around with my GeForce Now on my Chromecast, actually, and just realizing like how real this is. So, I mean, this isn't going to be for everybody. Not everybody has the internet to do it. I'm lucky enough to have FiOS. But this experience is real. It's coming, and even if you're not at that point now, it's just like, streaming HD video was almost impossible 10 years ago, right? Maybe a little longer than that. It's just persistent, and it's on our phones, and everybody's got it, and it's fine, right? This will continue to grow, like 4K video, like the internet, bilateral. No, that's not the upstream downstream will become equivalent eventually, and most will not have too much of a problem. But if you do, you can buy an Xbox and get a fridge to go with it. Apparently,
Yeah.
so
I'm not a Microsoft guy.
no, you're not.
I have my PlayStation 4 back there, just waiting for me to play it. But for the past for a year almost, everything that came up Microsoft, whether it was Game Pass related, whether it was fridge related, whether it was game related, whether it was like Bethesda related, everything just started snowballing. And I'm like, they're really like moving ahead of everybody. Everybody in this race is just like Microsoft knows what they're doing, and I feel bad because like I said, I'm a Sony guy. I've had PlayStation 4s and stuff like that, but I have switched around time and time again. But it's like there's nothing this company has done that went backwards since the Kinect.
Absolutely. And they got so much crap for the quote always on experience and checking in that your console is going to do with online. This is the reason, right?
This is it.
And now that you see the fruits of it, it's less annoying when they put that out. I mean, also consider and PlayStation has been ahead of the curve on this because they purchased Gaikai back in, I believe, 2014, if I'm not mistaken, when they announced PlayStation Now service, which was on that technology they purchased from Gaikai. So like they could have been growing this, but have not dedicated to it. Rizz, I think you've told me that PlayStation Now, they use the streaming technology merely to play backwards compatible PlayStation 1, 2, 3 games. That's correct, right?
That's correct.
So I mean, they're just like, hey, we'll stream our old stuff, but the new stuff you got to buy. And Xbox saying, here, how about some Halo?
Yeah.
Here, I played through all of the Gears of War on Game Pass, and now that's not the streaming part, but I could also play all of the Gears of War on the streaming if I wanted to, in the subscription service. When
EA is lapping you in streaming their games,
you're talking about them being on the Game Pass, correct?
No. They have their own streaming service.
Oh, what is that? Through Origin?
It's EA Play.
Well, no, that's a subscription service. It's not necessarily
subscription.
Yeah,
service.
that's not necessarily streaming.
But still, it's like they're still having that moment where they're doing a lot more than the company that they're on.
So I want to separate that a little bit because you have the subscription services. So you have your EA plays. Ubisoft has a subscription service. I think not the Kinect, but I forget. I think it's Ubisoft has something. PlayStation has their PlayStation Now thing. Xbox has their Game Pass, and then also you can throw gold in there that you get free games, quote unquote, every month as well. But it's really all one service at this point. It's like a legacy arm of it at this point. I feel, but. So that's the subscription services, but we're talking about streaming as in you do not necessarily need the console. One other big piece of news out of this that's got me excited. Now, right now, I believe the server blades that they're using are based on hardware that is like the series, not the series. It was the Xbox One S, I believe, hardware. So already it's better than the hardware that I use. So I enjoyed the little bit faster loading times when I go to check out the game. They are upgrading that apparently that if you're going to be playing a game on their cloud service, it will be based on the Xbox Series technology. Now, that could be a Series S because they're maybe not aiming to push 4K video on the stream just yet, so that's all they need. I mean, what Series S does what, like a 2K stream a video feed, and it's not necessarily means you get it, but also they've only been up to recently with beta apparently broadcasting the video of your game at 720, not even 1080. Nope. But again, you're playing on a little guy like this phone typically, or an Android device typically, so there's been no reason to push that even further. But now they're going through the process of upgrading that hardware, so you will get the better experience. And if you get a Series X game, a Series SX game that doesn't play on your like original Xbox One, but you subscribe to Game Pass, you can play that game. I can play, presumably, I'm guessing, I can play Halo Infinite there in my living room, hopefully just fine on my original Xbox One, and then I can pull up my MacBook Pro that is going to stream it through the browser and have the higher end experience based on that because I'm going over the higher end software. That's the promise that's happening right now. And that is really freaking exciting for me.
Yeah.
So, but Chilla, I know you've been dabbling at this. You're a multi-console person, but I think you, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much Xbox first, right?
Yeah, I was Xbox first all the way back to the original Xbox. Went to the 360, then to the One.
Mm-hmm.
I do not have any of the new Series devices, but I'm just hanging out and waiting in the wings for either a really good sale,
Yeah.
or to see, do I really need to do anything, and I'll just go.
Do I need to
cloud-based?
Do I need to subscribe for that?
Right, and
Yeah.
I am an Ultimate Pass owner or subscriber. I still do buy a game here and there, but I'm pretty much, residing on that platform. They've had a lot of good sales there recently. They had a nice sale on all the Marvel Lego games at a pretty decent price with all the expansion content.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been playing through that here. The thing that I'm interested in is, can I use my PlayStation 5 controller? So I don't have a PS5, but I have a PS5 controller, primarily because I can Bluetooth it to a number of devices. Can I use my PS5 controller with my Mac or iOS device to then play Xbox, which I think is just, you could get in on all the operating systems and all the vendors there, maybe shy of Sony. But
I would be careful because I've definitely attempted to play something like Game Pass or Stadia with not one of their controllers, and things like the start and select mechanism of like, especially like Destiny, like you cannot progress without being able to like hit select in some points. So using like the Steel Series Nimbus with like no start select button and just a menu button in the middle does not work for you.
not working.
So keep that in mind when you're doing something like that. And I imagine, I think the PlayStation would have pretty much the comparable buttons, but don't get too wild with non-compliant controllers like that. So like Chilla, don't be throwing that Super Nintendo controller I see behind you on a USB. And
no,
trying to
that
make
would work fine. It has a start.
Yeah, actually it does, but it doesn't have
8-bit do.
But it doesn't have the twin stick, right? Or does it?
It does.
Oh, it does. Oh, well, actually, that might actually work pretty well. So never mind. Holy crap! There you go.
It actually has all the buttons on top, and then it has both
Jeez.
triggers.
So
The only thing it wouldn't have is like for the PlayStation has kind of like that touchpad. It wouldn't have that.
So I'm sorry. I'm looking, and now I'm looking at the cloud gaming, and I see they've just added the 2014 Doom. A lot of Bethesda stuff going on. Dishonored, their Fallout 3 just dropped on there. The original Rage. I've been playing Rage 2 a little bit. Wolfenstein 2, the redos that they did. So like, there's been a bit of an upgrade on there. So I was having fun. They put MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries on there, and like my first like major Pentium computer came with like MechWarrior 2, and I played MechWarrior. MechWarrior Mercenaries, so I'm like a big fan of that. So I was kind of really living. I'm like, also, this is a slow game. Holy crap! But that was kind of the point of it. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm just like geeking out because I haven't played video games for like a week, and I'm just like want to play all the games I have no time for right now. You can play Gears of War with touch controls on the iPhone. How is that gonna work? I played some of these touch versions. Like I've been playing Banjo-Kazooie and some Killer Instinct with this. Now I'm really curious. Now I might load this up during the show while somebody else is talking.
Banjo-Kazooie can work.
Banjo-Kazooie works actually amazing. And it's like the original N64 one. So it's not like the newer one. It's like slow enough and just like, okay, like you can actually like have a little bit of fun playing that. I'm loading Gears of War. I just want to see how this works. So that's the thing. Like they're setting that up that you don't even need a controller to play some of these games. Like to play like Minecraft Dungeons. Like yeah, you can just do that with touch controls. I mean, everything's going to be better with the controller, but just for like a quick pickup. and like that these things work so well with just like if you have like 5G LTE, like these games are gonna work really well, and they do.
I'm wondering,
I've tried them.
Like a Minecraft Dungeons, I would almost think that'd be kind of nice because you could just tap across the bottom selection panel
Yeah.
I think
for different things.
that
like-
might be how it works.
So I could definitely see that making sense for some of those dungeon crawler type games.
Oh, the loading's not doing. I'm like right by my router. Like it's right over here, and it's giving me a little bit of frame rate issues though. XCloud, I gotta say, so in reliability, I still say in order of reliability, it goes Stadia, Nvidia, GeForce Now, and then XCloud. Like XCloud needs to have like perfect conditions to work, right? And I would say you're better even remoting into your Xbox itself and using that over the stream than what sometimes happens over here. I'm gonna hit A to play. We'll see what's happening here. Access more motion controls on my phone. Okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see what else is happening here before I start getting distracted playing this game. What is happening with George R.R. Martin? This sounds familiar.
George really Martin finally did something.
George really Martin.
So for the past like 3-4 years now, I think, that was the first time 3 years. It was brought to our attention that Elden Rings was going to be made by From Software and written by George R.R. Martin, famed writer of all of the fantasy books that you know and love. So, of course, it's going to be a Dark Soulsian style game with fantasy Game of Thrones like writing, and also a horse that jumps vertically through the air. But finally, like one of the
Uh-oh. Did we lose Rizz? That's okay. We got fancy video of Elden Ring back.
So where did I cut off at?
I don't know. You were really excited, whatever it was.
I was really excited. So the last video they showed on the kickoff show.
Nope. Chilla, are you bouncing out too? Are you good? Are you here?
For E3.
Okay.
Happened to be in ring. Oh, jeez.
I don't know what's happening, man. It could be on you.
I don't know.
His actually meter on like Zoom is down in the red.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Tell everybody to stop using the internet.
Stop
in your
using
house.
that.
Stop using your house internet. All right, you look good now.
You good better now?
Your
Good.
excitement is too much for this. This looks
I'm
good.
so excited.
It looks really good, by the way.
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Like it's an HD Dark Souls game.
Okay.
Kind of, sort of, because it's from.
Oh, great. So I'm going to hate
Creators?
myself for playing this. Got it.
Oh no, I'm gonna hate myself for finishing this game.
Oof.
Trying to finish this game. Probably not even gonna get by the first boss, which is the tutorial boss. But all in all, this game looks amazing, and I can't wait to see what George R.R. Martin brings to the table for this one. It just looks highly fun and interesting, and I'm going to probably just huddle in a corner somewhere trying to play it and not be able to beat it, anything from the first boss on. So I'm just really excited that this is an actual thing that's coming out in December. Like finally, there's a date. There's everything that's coming out for it.
Are you a big Game of Thrones fan yourself?
No, I'm just a big
No?
game fan.
Okay. You're just like
I'm just a big Dark Souls game fan that only has beaten Dark Souls 2.
I won't go into this deeply because we did on the pre-show for you guys on Patreon. But I'm going to highly recommend to the Rizz and anybody that loves games like this. Mythic Quest on Apple TV. They're probably nearly in the last 3 episodes of their latest season, and it's about the developers. And they just did a arc about basically the George R.R. Martin of their MMORPG. They did like kind of a flashback and everything like that. And so it's actually been 2 episodes that had nothing to do with video games, but they were like the best episodes maybe of the series. So I'm going to throw that out there along with this as a side awesome. But no, that's cool. So Elden Rings, not the Elder Rings, not the, you know.
By the way, I messed up. It's not coming out in December this year. It's coming out in January next year.
I
was a month off.
Man. Oh yeah.
You should have said it's already been delayed.
It's already been delayed since it was
I'm
announced
waiting for
earlier
it.
today or whatever. So
I mean, it is from George R.R. Martin.
yeah. Zing. Well, he's got no Game of Thrones to finish.
There's that whole set of levels that are too hard to see. You got to turn your brightness all the way up.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, familiar with that thing going on. Rizz, what is this thing? I think I've seen this thing before.
What?
So Razer is getting into face masks, huh? I've heard about this.
Yeah, another weird, like, this one's more of a weird runoff E3 presentation where Razer came out with their own gaming mask.
Gaming mask? That's how they're marketing this thing?
I mean, it's almost like an N95 mask.
Yeah.
With I guess it's more plasticky, that see-through plastic that you can see it, and able to like hear things but not be able to like have the particles come out and all that stuff. But it's designed for like how a gaming keyboard is, where it's just having flashing light, that those little lights that turn on and off that are on the vents.
So is this meant to be like a COVID answer generally, or is this like I'm going to get more airflow, or sitting next to everybody elbow to elbow when we're at competition kind of thing?
Both.
All the above.
I'm pretty sure it's all the above because from the looks of it, you can actually see what people are saying.
Okay. Yeah, your mouth is under glass. That's interesting.
It looks interesting. It looks fun, and neat, but I don't know how it's going to actually be that effective.
Okay.
But it was just like I randomly came on a random Saturday afternoon, went to the E3 Twitch page, and Razer was on, and this was being shown. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Like it's something that you wouldn't normally see coming through, like on an E3 presentation like this.
Okay.
Honestly, this is the second piece of tech that appeared in this year's E3, with the first being the fridge that we just talked about.
Nice.
And that was the only. I think that was one of the only ones that actually had hardware that came out. Well, yeah.
What a weird year. So Rizz, while we're worrying about hardware and E3, of course, WWDC continued throughout the week past when we did the show last week. And a part of that, maybe you need to relax. And if you go to developers.com, developers.apple.com/videos and go down to mindful cooldowns for coding. They've got some mindful cooldowns. I'm familiar with these with my Fitness Plus, but because after I do my thing, they say, "Why don't you do a mindful cooldown?" Hey, I know that guy. I've done a few of his workouts. So it's about mindfulness, but there's also some like light stretching going on there. It's meant to, for coding, it's about to get some movement, because coding, you're not doing a lot of movement unless you're one of those rockin' coders. And also for the workouts, it's typically, this is what we use to, lower our heart rate after doing 20 minutes on the treadmill, right? Climbing hills and stuff. So I think that is a nice little integration and maybe introduction to what some of the Fitness Plus looks like for coders out there.
Do they talk about coding, or was it just like a?
So I have not dropped into this necessarily to see, But I haven't seen if they actually like say anything at the beginning, but generally I imagine there's a little bit of an introduction that goes along with it as well. So but no, go check that out. Again, developer.apple.com/videos, and then you scroll down there for the mindful cooldown for coding, brought to you by Fitness Plus. And there's all the other special events and announcements throughout the week if you want to dive into that. Of course, this is like UI development and sizing and everything too. So I don't know how much other people are going to want to get into something like this, but definitely a lot of cool worldwide. This is for day 5 at the WWDC according to this too. So, and I don't know if they have like the past days like sitting in here. So all videos. Let's see what happens at all videos. And all the videos. Here we go. There's a lot there. There's a lot going on there. Some dev for Apple Watch. I saw Apple TV. So cool. We have. Let's see. I want to talk about this one. Sorry, I'm looking at your other guys' stuff. So we have a new Windows version coming, right? I believe that's probably a Chichilla get, correct?
Yes. So next week, Microsoft will be announcing our next version of Windows. I think it's Thursday, the 24th. Is it the 24th Thursday? I know it's the 24th. I can't remember what day of the week it is. Starting at 11 a.m., they are going to be showing the next version of Windows.
Yes, supposedly
Windows
11, maybe.
Which is interesting because remember, Windows 10 was going to be the last version of Windows.
So I was listening.
Maybe
to
this will be like they'll call this Warp or something.
So Warp. Didn't they purchase OS Warp or something from IBM?
I don't think
somebody did.
I don't know.
Somebody did. That was an old thing in the 90s.
BOS.
BOS. Oh jeez. So interesting. That whole Windows 10 is the last thing. I was listening to another podcast and they were saying apparently that's something somebody at a meeting said and nobody corrected them. So the whole Windows 10 is the last Windows. So, but it's all gonna it's gonna be fine. By the way,
maybe they meant this will be the last Windows you'll ever need. I don't know.
Yeah. Marketing speak. Come on. It's
interesting.
How that goes.
It's like they've moved the start button, and there are some leaks online which are probably relatively accurate based on the fact that a lot of it looks like some things taken from Windows 10 X, which was going to be the OS that was going to run on some of their lighter weight equipment, some of their ARM-based processing. They had the kind of that another version of that fold-out type device. They had the second screen and the key above the keyboard kind of thing. So that's been discontinued, or they've admitted they're not moving forward with that OS at this point in time.
Yeah.
But they've borrowed a lot of the look and feel from it. So a lot of the rounded corners, a lot of the glassiness. I'll be interested to see what this thing I'm interested in is. I'm not a huge fan of their app store. But they're also talking about like their next version of their app store. So I'm excited to see what they do with that as well.
All right, sounds good. I love how the icons look like they're just kind of like they moved all the icons to the center, which feels very like Apple launch bar kind of situation. It was like, well, that's an interesting choice. So I don't know. Well, it makes it easier to cross over, doesn't it? So, well. On that note, I think we're at pumpkin time right now. And so we're going to wrap up here. First of all, Chilla, at Chilla on the Twitters.
John Chichilla on the Facebooks.
That's where he does all the things at Big Bank International Esquire, doing techie things, of course.
Techie things.
And, of course, the Rizz is Rizz Plays Games on Twitter.
I also do things. And
yes,
that's
you do.
Where I'm all over the place on that same handle. Rizz Plays Games on Twitch, Twitter, Facebooks.
See Twitch twice.
I said Twitch twice.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if anybody picked up on that, but I did say that.
I did. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
But other than that, that's what I'm also just like peeking at the E3 awards that they're doing right now. And then they just showed some more games I really want to play, which you can find me playing on Rizz Plays Games.
There you go.
Twitch and Twitch.
There you go. Thank you, our chat room hanging out all night. I know I didn't hop back in there because I started playing Gears of War on my phone and didn't go back. So, and everybody watching on the YouTube and the Twitch, again, please subscribe on those channels if you want to join us here live every Tuesday. Again, as I mentioned before, we will not be live next week. We will have a pre-recorded version of the show in some fashion, and it'll be great. It'll be great. I'm going to go on vacation. When's the last time I've done that?
You enjoy, Sorg.
Yes, everything will be fine.
Don't
Everybody.
mind this place while you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
We will only take the expensive stuff.
What?
So you're
No, wait, what? I have cameras, Rizz. I have security cameras. I'm gonna know. Okay, it's gonna let me know.
Not if we take the cameras.
Don't take the cameras. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.